Hello everyone, assalamu alaikum. Well, in this video I'm going to share one very important concept of Flutter state management. The concept that I'm going to cover is going to be equally applied to GetX, BLoC and Riverpod. It doesn't matter whatever you use, even if you also use native state management like setState. So regardless whichever method it is, it's going to be applied and useful. So make sure that you watch the video, you like it and share. Anyway, so what I'm going to do over here, I'm going to restart my app so that I can show you actually what's going to happen and what approach we are going to solve or use to solve a problem. Okay, so this is where my home page is loading while the network is slow. Now what I'm going to do, you'll see that we come over here and we have a cart over here and we see the items in the cart. And now I'm going to go ahead and add some items in our cart, and I'm going to submit it, and then I'm going to load it over here. And we already have a crash over here, so nothing is visible. And here it says that set state or markNeedsBuild call during build. Okay, so this is one of the hints. So what's gonna happen if I go ahead and try this button again? So you'll see that it insists, or whatever I do, the error should be there. And sometimes this error, actually this one, is shown on screen as well. So it doesn't really matter. Once again, this problem is not just specific to GetX or BLoC or Riverpod. It happens with any kind of state management system. So what happens over here when you see that it says that set state or markNeedsBuild call during build? That means that actually the screen was already being built, the screen was being rendered, so which means that state of update was happening on the screen, and at the same time during that time a new update triggered. Okay, so what's going to happen, you already have an update that's going on the screen, right? So something might be rendering on the screen, and at that time Flutter engine has triggered another one. Of course, Flutter doesn't do it automatically. It's the programmers, if we write faulty code or the code that's not clear to us, that kind of things that causes. So that means that whenever you see that this is happening, something like that, where it says set state and markNeedsBuild happens, that means actually two update screen was going to happen one after another, but not one after another, simultaneously. So one was happening on the screen and then a new one happened again. So this is going to cause the problem. Okay, so we need to avoid this thing. Remember, whenever you see this kind of issues or message, that means that one was going on and that didn't finish and new one got triggered. So that means that your original screen gets dirty. So this should not happen. Now, to prevent this, you need to identify the second build, okay? The second update on the screen. Well, in general, if you have any kind of screen, stateful screen, you'll have your build method, right? So here we have my build method, as you can see there. So build method. So here we have our build method, and of course it was building, rendering, and by the time another build happened. So in my case, actually, this is the code that was happening. So over here, actually, I was trying to update a list, and that list is reactive. So over here, as you see that I have like an array over here, this one, or a list. So I'm assigning this list to a reactive list. Reactive list means that it's going to update the UI, or it's going to trigger the UI immediately. Now here, since I'm using GetX, over here, this is an RX list, and this is going to update, rebuild, or trigger a rebuild actually. But the same happens if you use BLoC. In your case, it is the BLoC mechanism. But the idea is, because there was already build going on the screen and a new one came simultaneously, so that's why it happened. So this is the culprit. This is the line that was causing this problem. Now, to get rid of this kind of problem, in general, what you need to do, something called widgets binding an instance, and which also has a method called addPostFrameCallBack. Okay, so definitely from the name, as you see that, so this is a callback function that actually we should use over here. That means that we should call this one and put the culprit, or the one that causes rendering. We should put that line or that part of the code inside this. So if you put it like this, what's going to happen is that, okay, so Flutter build method was running, and then whenever it hits this one, and then whatever inside is that, whatever inside your addPostFrameCallBack method is going to be executed once the earlier build was done. So it will hold this execution, okay? Whatever you put inside this, and that's the name tells you, because this is the name, okay? The name tells you that, okay, add a post frame callback, which means add something as a frame, and it should be a callback, which means it should execute later. So this line will get executed later, okay? And then whatever this line does, it would be doing that. In our case, it was updating our UI. So what will happen once again? Our screen will regularly build, and once that build is done, it will execute this line, okay? And with that, you can prevent this kind of crash, okay? So now, well, let's go ahead and restart our app, and we'll see whether this time we have this error or not. So let's see our screen over here, cart, as you can see. Now I'll go and try to add a new item, say for example this one, to our cart. Okay, so we are ready over here, and I'm going to add some items and add it. Now I'm going to go to the cart screen, and as you see that we don't have any error and everything is working perfectly. Anyway, so if you liked it, don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button. Thank you.